It's time for Chicken Talk with Rick Rush.
What's up? Welcome to Chicken Talk. My name is Rick, and I'm here with the Chicken Whisperer. How are you, Chicken Whisperer?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
So, what are you doing in town now?
We're going to be out at Barnyard, Feed and Seed. We're going to be doing some education tonight, geared towards the keeping of backyard poultry.
Now, can you whisper to baby chicks as well, or are you just grown chicks?
Yeah, pretty much when we educate folks and they say, hey, do you communicate with chickens? We're like, no, we don't communicate with chickens unless the hens in the backyard are not laying. And then I have to have a little talk with them and tell them I'm either going to eat eggs or chicken, and it's their choice.
Yeah, I had to do that a lot with my first wife. That's how we communicated if
Absolutely.
anything wasn't happening in the backyard. So keeping chickens is better than having a noisy neighbor.
Absolutely. And you're going to get some eggs to boot as well at breakfast.
Is there danger in like, if you don't know what you're doing, chickens getting, I don't know, making you sick or whatever?
No, there's some risks, but they're relatively low. Salmonella, for example, you want to make sure you do what you can to protect yourself and your family. Got to be careful.
That's true. I've heard that. I read that on the internet. You have to be careful with salmonella. Now, are chickens less nervous if you walk backwards, or is that a myth?
That's a myth. They're chicken, obviously, so they're pretty skittish.
Mm-hmm.
But the advantage there is if you raise them from the time they hatch, how people do, or they get their chickens, and they mail them. They'll mail them right to you in 3 days. You can get online, click, and in 3 days have some baby chicks right at your local post office. But they'll raise them, they'll handle them some, and then they kind of get over that. They get used to you.
Are they ever like pets, like a dog?
You have no idea. There's a huge movement right now, and I have a big following that, and they take this title very seriously. They'll even wear T-shirts to my events, and they're called the Crazy Chicken Ladies.
Ooh.
And they'll put sweaters on their chickens. They have diapers on their chickens. They'll bring their chickens inside, which we do not advocate for, but because of many reasons. But yes, they give their chickens treats and blueberries and oatmeal every morning.
And these people are just right out in the open, in the neighborhoods and stuff.
Absolutely.
Normal.
Oh,
And they're not
absolutely.
locked up or nothing.
They're not. And it's actually gotten to a point where nobody in this field, in this movement, really anybody would have thought that last year the CDC out of Atlanta had to produce I guess public education and it was titled NPR and a bunch of folks carried it, "Don't kiss your chickens." And so people who aren't into it, they're not into the pet chicken movement, and that's a part of this movement. It's whole food and everything else. But who would have thought? We actually have to tell people in America today in 2016 not to kiss your chickens, really. So yeah, if you're not into it, you don't understand it. But the Crazy Chicken Ladies,
And they're not kissing their chickens?
Many of them are kissing their chickens,
they
cuddling
are.
with their chickens,
Yeah.
And then they allow their children to.
There was a guy
play
that
with
arrested
the
for that up in
chickens.
Georgetown.
Probably so.
And I think that was a horse.
I-
I heard chickens don't pee.
They do not. And if you look at chicken poop and you see there's normally a white cap of what looks like white poo, those are called urites, and
Yep.
that's their form of urine. But they do not pee. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah. How come a chicken doesn't wear underwear?
Now, some wear diapers. Some of these Crazy Chicken Ladies, they will actually have diapers on their chickens, bring them inside. Again, don't advocate that.
Are those people coming to your thing tonight?
They may be some of those groups there. Yeah.
That doesn't scare you?
No.
Why do they lay different color eggs?
Okay, great question, and that's a big part of the movement as well. You've got folks that really get into the color of their eggs, blues and greens. There's a breed called, for example, the French copper Morans, and they lay a real dark. I mean, it looks literally like a chocolate egg that you would pick up in the store for Easter. And so they really get involved in the different colored eggs. You have a dozen eggs and you share with your friends, and it's just like this rainbow of beautiful colored eggs. No difference in nutritional value, nothing. Do you know which end of the egg comes out first when laid? The big end or the small end? We're going to learn something today. Which end comes out first, the big end or the small end?
Are you asking?
I'm asking.
I didn't know if I was still involved in this conversation. I would imagine the pointy end.
You would think that, but the large end actually comes out first.
Why is that?
I will explain. Well, when that egg is moving through the oviduct, something has to be pushing that through the oviduct. So obviously, if you're pushing something through a tube, the pressure pushing it through the tube has to come on the back end. So you have an egg going that way through the oviduct, and that oviduct is contracting and pushing it on the back side of the egg. So it's not only creating the shape of the egg that we see, but the big end comes out first. Little science for you show today.
Back to my joke.
Yeah.
How come chickens don't wear underwear?
You know, I'm not really sure why they don't.
It's because they're peckers on their face.
Well, that is very true. That is true. So they don't need to wear underwear. Absolutely.
This is the Chicken Whisperer, and this has been Chicken Talk.
And this has been Chicken Talk with Rick Rush. If you would like to be a guest, please call 843-721-1035. Tune in next time when Rick talks to the Eat More Chicken cow.